Hello, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Master League Premier Cup. This cup is going to be available for 1 week and does not allow you to use any legendary, mythical, or ultra beast in the Open Master League. And of course, we're going to have here top 10 teams again, a lot of very interesting ones as well. So if you enjoy this type of videos, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. But before we start, let's move right into the meta. Taking a look now at the meta, we're going to see that Pokemon like Florges, Goodra, as well as Dragonite going to be very good Pokemon to run here. A lot of Fairy-type Pokemon going to be very good now, but also of course Dragon-type Pokemon that got recently buffed have still been good the entire time. Like honestly, Dragonite's been there the entire time, but as you can see, of course, very affordable. Of course, everything has to be XL. Rhyperior got a buff, Ursaluna got a buff. Feraligatr got not a buff, but is definitely a little bit higher up the ratings than I usually would expect. So quite a lot of interesting Pokemon, a lot of Pokemon that are very not accessible though as well, again with Dragapult and the Excalibur and like the top 12 here. 2 Dragon-type Pokemon that recently just only really got released. I don't know how many people have a Excalibur XL or a Dragapult XL, I don't. So yeah, otherwise, Annihilate is a Pokemon to look out for as well, because Pokemon is going to be definitely even a little bit better when the community day is going to be happening. We're going to have a team coming up for this one as well with Rayquaza. Rayquaza looks ridiculous. And yeah, this is going to be kind of the meta. A lot of, yeah, it's only literally like the top tier meta, like Pokemon here, the top like 20-25 is what you have to look at. The rest is kind of difficult to play. And so, yeah, let's move on to the teams. We will know with team number 1. We're going to take a look at a Pokemon that's not going to be as commonly used, but I still kind of want to make a team around. This was the first Pokemon I kind of want to make a team around, which is going to be the Machamp. Machamp, why is it running counter? Okay, apparently, now we fix it as well. You're gonna see it here on the screen. P-Poke has the wrong moveset in for Machamp, and I think even Rockslide is not correct. There we go, and I have it now. We're going to have finally the correct moveset on this Pokemon. Yeah, apparently P-Poke doesn't have the correct moveset on here, and so Karate Chop and Stone Edge Machamp is something that people are going to overview, or like overlook in general, because it's not going to be top meta at the current time, even though it is. And this is something that you can take advantage of, because Machamp is going to be a Pokemon that can break Feraligatr, Gyarados, Dragonite, all of those good Pokemon, and nobody really knows about it right now, because if you watch this video, P-Poke doesn't say that you should use this Pokemon, and this is going to be something that, of course, a lot of people don't really gonna build the teams around, and so Machamp is actually a serious threat here for the current meta, and this is going to be quite nice. So yeah, I guess P-Poke doesn't have Karate Chop available here for this Pokemon, which is kind of interesting, and so yeah, we're going to have here a little bit of a secret pick so far. Anyway, we're going to have Goldgo as our say-so, going to be able to. Actually, I feel like Hisuian Everlike might be the better say-swap now, thinking about it. Hisuian Everlike as well say-swap and go in the back. Hisuian Everlike going to have the benefit of being a little bit better against Rhyperior, which you might want to have there as well as that Goldengo has the better ability to go up against the Primarina, so that might be also a decent shout. But yeah, generally speaking, this team looks like a lot of fun, looks now actually really good, and is actually meta, just P-Poke had the wrong moveset in before. Anyway, hopefully we're going to have not that many more cases of this one, but we're going to have a case here of a very special moveset, which is going to be Shadow Dragonite with Steel Wing. You could also decide to go for a Hurricane over something like Superpower here, but Steel Wing is going to allow you to beat most of those Fairy-type Pokemon, and I feel like it's going to be even more Fairy-type Pokemon with Fairy Wind, which makes this matchup a little bit easier for you. And so, in a 2-shield scenario, Pokemon like Florges should be beatable, Pokemon like Rhyperior are going to have even a better matchup now as well, while Steel Wing, of course, got nerfed this season. This move is still going to allow you to beat the Pokemon that you want to beat as a Dragon-type Pokemon, or like that are most likely going to swap out into you as a Dragon-type Pokemon, allowing you to give some super effective coverage. And I feel like this team is going to work out quite well here. Magnezone or the Goldengo in the lead going to provide you some nice coverage for the Steel typing, and then you're of course going to have another Steel type in Dragonite there apparently. And I feel like this is going to be a very cool trap team with Goodra in the back, allowing you to basically, yeah, get rid of the Fairy type Pokemon for Goodra, sweep endgame with Goodra, and have Magnezone in the lead to beat something like Gyarados as well. And so yeah, I really think that this team is going to have a lot of potential in this current meta. I would really recommend you to try out the Shadow Dragonite with Steel Wing. And of course, we're going to have some Fairy-type boys here as well. Fairy-type is the most common Pokemon, yeah, like most common type for this meta. We're going to have Florges in the lead, the most broken Pokemon of them all. Feraligatr, going to be able to cover up some weaknesses against Steel-type and Fire-type Pokemon for this Pokemon here as well. So that's also one reason why, for example, Azumarill is so good, because usually Fairy-type Pokemon struggle quite a bit against especially Fire-type Pokemon. And so here Azumarill would have the option to be like a part Water-type. And here also Feraligatr is covering the weakness of Florges pretty nicely, while we have Excadrill in the back, of course. Bit weak against Fire-type Pokemon, but they're not really that many good ones. There's only really one, which is kind of worth talking about, which we see a little bit down below in this list in Skeledirge. But yeah, Feraligatr, very cool. Swampert is going to have actually some play here still as well. Swampert also could have the option of having Sludge Wave, which I feel like is an interesting play in the Fairy-type meta. But yeah, that's going to be it for this team, and we can move on to the next one. Team number 4 is going to be basically the same team, but reversed, and this is kind of why I wanted to kind of move on a little bit faster. We don't have Rhyperior here. Primarina with a Waterfall as a Say Swap, as well as the Florges. I could actually see a case where Primarina with Charm is going to be a little bit better than Primarina with Waterfall. While Waterfall is going to be better for energy generation, Charm going to allow you to win those mirror matchups, which might be very important for the scenario for like the Rhyperior here, which is going to struggle quite a bit against certain Pokemon. And honestly, I still kind of find it weird that Rhyperior looks so bad on paper. It's going to be way, way better, especially in the 2-shield scenario, of course. But still, I find it quite interesting to see it like this. Primarina, great Say Swap though. Also with Waterfall, like both of them must find Charm and Waterfall. Really depends on the meta that you're going to encounter. We'll see about this one, but yeah, here right now Waterfall the better one to go for in general. But I feel like the Charm has a lot of potential for this one to counter other Fairy-type Pokemon, especially Primarina. Next one, we're going to have here the Hydreigon, the Golisopod, as well as the Metagross. Of course, those are going to be quite interesting Pokemon. Hydreigon got a buff this season with our Brutal Swing being a little bit cheaper, allowing it to have basically the same pacing as the Dragonite, while having better coverage than a Dragonite-ish, like depends. But also just doing a little bit more damage with Brutal Swing. I think Brutal Swing does 5 more damage than Dragon Claw, giving a little bit of an edge there, but just generally speaking from typing-wise as well as the I think stat-wise, Dragonite is a little bit of a better Pokemon. Still, as you can see on the screen, this Pokemon has a lot of potential, especially as you're going to be able to farm down maybe something later on. You might be able to go for a Flash Cannon to surprise some Fairy-type Pokemon with that. And otherwise, you're going to have Metagross in the back to cover, of course, the glaring weakness to those Fairy-type Pokemon. And the Sizer of Golisopod to just have a little bit of glue in between. Issue here, only really Gyarados to be fair. Gyarados can be a bit of a trickier one. I don't really think that Ursaluna are going to have the craziest usage. I do think Ursaluna is very good though, but a lot of people usually don't really want to use this Pokemon because of people are a bit scared of Tackle, I think. But you're gonna see some teams with Ursaluna coming up as well. Not the next one though, but we're going to have a Fire type here, which you're not going to see on the screen yet because I kind of want to talk about a more obvious, kind of easiest team to build, which is going to be Dragonite, Snorlax, and the Metagross. Snorlax is going to be a very good glue in the current meta, kind of struggling though with the Fairy type Pokemon, while it's going to be doing some neutral damage. Of course, Body Slam got nerfed. Body Slam is your main way of hitting those. Against the others, against Rhyperior, you have Superpower, which is doing a lot of damage, and so it definitely got nerfed this season. It's not as ideal as it was before. It still has some play though, so has some play as a Shadow variant as well. But alternatives here would be, for example, Skeledirge, allowing you to have some nice coverage for Fairy type Pokemon as well. Beating Fairy type Pokemon while having Fairy type coverage is kind of cool. And yeah, in the back we're going to have Metagross just to destroy Fairy types. And as said before, Ursaluna is going to be in this video as well. This Pokemon has access to the new move Swift here, which got buffed. And also, of course, High Horsepower as a legacy move. I don't actually know if High Horsepower is always the best move to go for. I see some play for other moves as well. Ice Punch makes the matchup against Dragonite very, very easy. Yeah, or just generally speaking against any kind of flying / Dragon type Pokemon. And I could see Ice Punch having a lot of play as well next to Swift. Swift is the cheapest move, the easiest move to get to, allows you to hit Pokemon like Primarina for decent damage, other Ursaluna, Feraligatr, stuff like this. While High Horsepower has of course some lot of play to especially beat the Pokemon that you want to beat, kind of like Steel type Pokemon with Ursaluna. But you have a Fairy type Pokemon lead. You sub onto your Ursaluna. Do you think these Steel type Pokemon really want to entertain this one? I highly doubt it. And so I think they will most likely sub out. And for those Steel type Pokemon, we have Rhyperior, such as Excadrill in the back to counter those, which I feel like makes a lot of sense here. And so we can move on to team number 8. Team number 8 is great because you don't play it the usual way. What I mean this is kinda that you want to stay in if possible. We're going to have Waterfall Gyarados here. Waterfall is needed because you want to play this a little bit differently. This team kinda tries to use the core of Gyarados and Magnezone together. What this means is Gyarados and Magnezone, very good core together. Basically, Magnezone can cover nearly everything that Gyarados is weak to, and Gyarados can cover nearly everything that Magnezone is weak to. So those are kinda perfect together. Again, you see like a few examples where it's a little bit tricky on the screen right now. Pokemon like Dragonite you can actually deal with even with Waterfall there. Goodra can be a bit tricky. Gudra can be a bit tricky, I would say. It's not game over immediately because Magnezone still has some play against it, but like it's not great. It's really not great. And then you're going to have like other matchups here, Excalibur. Nobody is going to run this one. But yeah, Gudra and Elite kind of wants to align themselves. If it's going to be a fairy type, swap out into Gyarados and keep Gudra Magnezone core, which is also very, very good. If it's anything else, if it's like a Dragonite, if it's like basically if it's anything else, you just stay in, try to align yourself if possible. Not possible, try to get a shield advantage. But yeah, that's kind of how this team works, and I think this team is kind of great as well. And so we can move on to team number 9, which is going to be a team that you cannot use, at least not now, but you can use for the last 1, 2, 3 days, which is going to be Annihilate with Rage Fist. Rage Fist looks ridiculous in the calculations right now, and I hope it's not gonna get released like this. I really hope so. I hope they give it +5 more energy because it's good. It's just too good. It doesn't show it here directly because Annihilate doesn't have the stats for this meta. Like it's at 3,600. You have like Pokemon like Dragonite at 4,300 or something like this. So like stat-wise, it is lower than it. Counter got nerfed, and it still looks like an amazing Pokemon in this meta with Rage Fist. Thing here is, Rage Fist needs to get nerfed for other leagues. Primeape with Rage Fist looks ridiculous in the Great League and Ultra League, way too overpowered from calculation point. Could be different later on, but this looks way too busted because Rage Fist gives you a guaranteed boost onto your attack, doing solid damage still. And now we have Ice Punch as a coverage move, but you can also go ahead and go for something different. Go ahead and go for something like Close Combat. Shadow Ball, maybe not so much. You have Rage Fist already doing some ghost type damage, but Annihilate has infinite coverage options, so like this Pokemon is really, really strong in this meta. Then we're going to have Ursaluna and Everluck in the back. I too would recommend you to not run Everluck and rather go for the Magnezone, allowing you to have a little bit of a better answer to Primarina. But yeah, this is... Rage is too strong, like Rage is strong. There's going to be a video coming up very likely, hopefully tomorrow, if I can get everything done towards the next community day with the Primeape and Annihilate there as well, trying to give you some team ideas, trying to show what is important or not. And yeah, hopefully you're going to enjoy this one when it comes out, but let's move on to team number 10. And this team is going to consist of Florges, Skeldritch, and Gengar. I just want to kind of showcase the potential of Gengar. Okay, I know this Pokemon is not going to be the best one, generally speaking, but it has some potential, okay? It has some potential. We're going to have here Florges. I actually feel like that Togekiss might be even a bit better. We're going to have a bit of a better matchup against Rhyperior, generally speaking. We're going to have the Skeldritch as a safe swap, baiting out those ground type boys. I just hope that not everybody has like Rhyperior there. There are better options as well. We can go again for Snorlax if you want to, but Skeldritch is funny. And then we have Gengar in the back. Gengar in the back has access to Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb plus buffed Shadow Punch might be funny for this meta if you have this one built already. Otherwise, just ignore this one because it's a fun team. It's more of a fun team. I just want to build something with Gengar, but this is going to do it for this video. There is not really a lot more to talk about. A very condensed meta makes it a bit difficult to build teams. I could have done teams around like Dragapult and Excalibur, but who has this Pokemon, to be fair, if you have this Pokemon? Link in the description to send gameplay, and I will see you then. Bye bye.